Hello and good evening.
Hey,
Welcome to another book club, the Blue Bookmark book club. It is a
I know
mouthful.
we did pick a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still trying to get over my cold that I had with Caroline Frost, and oh my goodness, it's choking up on everything. Hello, Alicia. Yeah,
Hi,
if you're here, say hi. Hey,
Hey,
Alex. Okay, so can you believe we are already discussing March?
March just flew by.
March. I mean, it is April next week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So if you're new here, we are the three admins of the Blue Bookmark Facebook group. We do discussions and reading challenges. A couple announcements. We're getting ready to start a Bridgerton read along. So that starts what date?
April 1st.
April 1st. So the Duke and I, and we're doing a chapter a day, right?
Yeah, the only exception is that the first day and the last day, it's including the prologue and the epilogue.
Gotcha.
But everything
and then
else
we start Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire starts. And that one's different than the first three, where it will take almost 2 whole months to finish. And you don't have to stay on that schedule. Feel free to read faster, whatever. I actually just finished it last week. So read it your own. And then let's see. We have Martha Waters is joining us in April. We'll be on a Sunday towards the end of the month. She is the author of To Have and to Hoax. I can't remember that middle one. And then the new one is To Marry and to Meddle. And they're kind of like Bringing Down the Duke-ish. There's not much spice at all, but they're really cute. So we'll have her. And then be on the lookout on Wednesday for our April challenge.
Yes.
So that will be fun.
Fun.
I'm planning to post it on Wednesday. It kind of depends on whenever Book of the Month posts. If they don't post on Wednesday, then I will. If they post on Wednesday, then I'll post on Thursday, just so, because otherwise it's like chaos in the group.
It is. On a drop day is mass chaos.
Yeah.
So speaking of April, before we get into the Book of Cold Cases, let's do what is been your best March read so far?
Oh, I love that question.
Yeah, good question.
And hi, everyone just jumping on.
Hi.
Amy, Carrie, Terry. We got a lot of people on tonight.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mine has been, I guess, The Unsinkable Greta James. I really like that one.
Yeah. Oh, good. So I know you were looking for a tearjerker, but it didn't quite make you. It did not make you cry. But was it sad? Did it hit the spot?
It had some sad moments, but it was hopeful too. So I just really like Greta. It was really. I also read Our Italian Summer, which they both were dealing with the death of their moms, but I liked Greta better.
That's interesting that they picked 2 books with that theme.
Yeah. Like that's random, but all right.
Yeah. At least they didn't pick that in May. I don't think it.
Right. Yeah, that's not a good Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Theme.
Mine, I think I've joined NetGalley last month and have been working my way through some advanced readers copies. And
you finally succumbed to the pressure.
And now I'm like obsessed.
It happens
so my
to the best
favorite
of us.
my favorite was The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark. That's the author of The Last Flight,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which was a Book of the Month pick. What was that, 2020?
I think so.
Yeah. It's looking right at me, but I don't remember when it's from.
Her new book is so good. I really hope it's a Book of the Month pick. I can't remember when it's coming out.
I know it's not coming out in April.
Yeah, it's not
April. I'm going to say probably May or June, somewhere in there.
Yeah, summer.
It was so good.
That's
How
awesome.
about you, Megan? What was your favorite so far?
I have had some really good ones so far. I would have to say my favorite, though, has been 9 Lives. That's so good by Peter Swanson.
I
really liked it a lot. Are you confused, or is it starting to make sense?
I'm good. Yeah, it's making sense.
Honorable mention, though, to Harlan Coben, The Match. That was fantastic. And Just Haven't Met You Yet by our dear friend Sophie Cousins.
Yeah, I like that
Those are both, those are good. There was a couple of quotes that was like, wow, this was a rom-com. But
it had some depth.
And, just to be a hater, I read The Paris Apartment, and it was not good.
Yeah.
Anybody, any review or any viewers have any comments on that? I was really excited about it.
Yeah, I read it. I was pretty mad on it.
I mean, it wasn't bad. Genevieve and I were talking about this. Like, I still gave it 3 stars.
That's what I gave it.
But there were so many characters that were so similar.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have any unique qualities, that they just kind of ran together. And I kept getting these people confused. Like, wait a minute, was that the sister? Was that the mother? Who just said that? So,
yeah,
she kind of did that in the guest list too. I felt like there was I just generally don't do well when there's a huge cast of characters and they're like hard to tell apart.
Mm-hmm.
It just is like too much for me to judge. It just feels like work,
Yeah, like when you said, "Oh, all these characters in Nine Lives," but you don't really need to know half of them. Like, over half of them, you truly don't even need to worry about who their name is.
And every time they come up, he does such a good job of reminding you who they are and what their job is and why they matter. And so it's like very effortless.
Yeah. Yeah. Amy, I liked the plot and I liked the way she had the sister and what happened in the book. I just didn't like the supporting characters that didn't really have anything to add uniquely. It was just confusing. But that's all I've got to say about that. So, okay, the Book of Cold Cases. What'd y'all think?
I loved it, actually.
I did too.
It's really good, yeah.
Yay! All 3 of us.
Oh, yay, we all loved it. I gave it 4. It was so
fun. Yeah, me too.
I gave it 5. I'm a Oprah when it comes to 5s.
I was kind of in between a 4 and a 5. Like, I actually loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised because, I liked The Broken Girls and Sundown Motel, but they were more like 3-star books for me. Like, they were fine. Mm-hmm. And this one I just thought was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the Sundown Motel a lot too. I haven't read The Broken Girls. I haven't, and I always need to get to it, but you know how it is.
I think you'd like it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I keep reading it every October because of it being a ghost story, and I haven't. But I think I gave the Sundown Motel a 5-star too. I just really, really like her writing a lot.
Yes.
I thought with this one too, like sometimes I feel like it gets tired with the flip between past and present. Like that trope gets tired, but I thought it was so well done in this book, and the different narrators. I don't know. I just thought the whole thing just was really well done.
Yeah. I really liked getting inside Beth's head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Beth is a really interesting character.
Yes. Speaking of Beth, there were a lot of instances where Beth's looks were used against her as far as like the investigation and like the media coverage went, where she looked sultry, she was sexy, she was a mystery, what do you think the author is trying to say about women's looks and how it relates to victimhood?
Well, that's a good question.
They're more sympathetic to a pretty victim. When she was sexy, people said, well, she's just a slut. So she, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking about it, maybe not so much about victimhood, but I was just thinking about how, like just the sexism in like the idea that because she's like seen as this like sexy vixen type that it automatically makes her more guilty or
Right.
evil in some way. It's kind of like that whole I don't know. It's like you're a virgin or you're the H word.
Right.
Is there's children around.
Yeah.
You know, to just make her, it was like there was nothing that she did or didn't do, but just her looks alone made her guilty.
Right.
Right. And especially for that time period, because I think it was like in the 70s.
70s.
You know,
Mhm.
like there's a big difference between the 70s, 50, you know, almost 50 years ago to today, where we see it, you know, we see women dressed in all ways because, you know, now we have the internet and magazines. But back then, you know, she was probably stand out. She, you know,
Mhm.
she didn't fit in with all the other women from the 70s because of her looks and the way she dressed and her money and her personality, her language.
Yeah.
So I thought that
She
was an
liked to
interesting
shock
take on it.
people.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this question is a little. Who do you think they're referring to about the victimhood? Because Beth's not a victim. From what we get at the beginning. I mean,
Yeah.
part 2, we get more into her being a victim, but
Yeah.
Shay.
I guess they mean as a victim, like because she was targeted by the police and the media and basically by society for like being too sexy, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you, Amy. Amy says, I think looks and sexuality have always historically been used as a marker of guilt or innocence. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, in the beginning, like Ted Bundy, he was attractive, so people didn't think he was capable of doing the things that he did. And then you have somebody like creepy looking, and he's definitely guilty. He looks like the Unabomber, you know?
Yep.
So
yeah,
even apart from women.
Yeah. Yeah. That was very interesting. I just read the Ted Bundy, The Stranger Beside Me, and it was really interesting because they were talking about how he gave the name Ted to some of the people, the girls that he tried to kidnap, and who got the tingle and were like, run away, you know. But you know, they had it on the news, and they had like a sketch of him, and so people were like, you know, I know a Ted and he kind of looks like that, but it couldn't be our Ted because, you know, he's so nice and charismatic and handsome.
Right.
But, you know, they had all these clues. They should have gotten him way before they did. But people just wouldn't believe that their friendly neighbor, coworker could be a, you know, killer.
Right. And I think with Beth, like, it worked in the opposite where, I mean, just the fact that the media gave her that title of the lady killer made the whole thing so sensationalized. And, you know, I mean, what a story to have this like super sexy woman who has tons of money and the way she dresses and the way she talks, and she's the lady killer. Like, it's just, you know, so like
worked against her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the mansion was a huge part of the story. What do you think the mansion's construction symbolizes?
Oh, like how it was kind of like hodgepodge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good.
I know.
Tough questions.
I know
tonight.
you're asking
like
hard
them.
I should have prepared a little more. I should have done my homework. I don't know, but I will say that these characters are like, if that happened to me where the cabinet started opening and the water started running and blood started leaking, I would be out of there so fast.
Right, so fast.
I would not be back. But I mean, I don't even like carnival haunted houses. But
me
if
either,
that stuff started happening around me, I'd be out of that house so fast and I would never go back. They're like, oh, I'm sure I'll be fine. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had a hold on her for sure. She couldn't get away from it.
That lonely like Beth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had been alone for almost 50 years at this point, just living with her and her crazy. Okay, this will be a spoiler chat. I think someone said they hadn't finished the ending, but we do talk about spoilers in this chat.
Yes.
You know, being alone in the house with her dead crazy sister.
Yeah.
And having
that's
to relive
wild.
seeing her father's body and, like, oh.
Yeah. Did you guys think, I don't know if it was just me, but the whole time that like we knew that there was a ghost in the house, I'm kind of sidetracking from the question, but did you guys think that it was the mom? Like I kept thinking it was the mom's ghost the whole time before we knew that Lily was a person. That's why I kept
It
thinking
is. The mom's.
I was thinking it was the mom.
Wasn't the mom there too? Or did I like? Because in the end, it says there's 2 lights burning.
Yeah, I think that was
the
now
mom,
Beth.
The mom was.
I took that as now Beth.
Oh yeah, at the end.
Like,
I guess it could be, yeah.
That they
but
were together.
At one point,
because Lily would never let her get away.
Yeah. That's what I thought too.
Remember when one of them was crying, and Lily wouldn't cry? I thought that was the mom. Like the mom is wandering around, and then Lily's there too.
The mom was there too.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, so maybe the mom
or
was.
Maybe Lily was making it seem like. But you're right, because
could be. Yeah, I don't know. Wow, I hope Beth got to go beyond that because she kind of. I'm speculating totally.
Yeah.
But
she's separate enough, right?
I'm hoping that since Beth shared her truth to Shay and got all of that out, and there was no more secrets from Beth, that she's not like she doesn't have to live that way. She gets to go on to the afterlife.
To pass on.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm hoping anyway. I mean, they never said.
They didn't say.
Oh, I love Emily's comment. And Megan, can you
yes.
highlight that? Oh no, sorry, earlier. She says the house construction to me
symbolizes.
Yeah. No matter how much you want to shake the past, you can't escape it. I just thought that was.
Yeah, good point. She tried to throw out stuff. She tried to leave. She was always just pulled right back in. Like, that's a nightmare. Yeah. That's horrifying.
But, she was covering for her. She was covering for her and could not. She was holding in these secrets, so she couldn't get away from the house. But then, maybe once she told the truth, who knows?
Yeah.
I loved all those scenes where it was like she was trying to throw away stuff and it would just like keep coming back. I don't know. There were some really good creepy ghost scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there were.
Did you all think that Beth was guilty at first?
I didn't, because usually the main character's not. I knew she was hiding something, but I didn't think she was the killer.
At one point, right at the beginning of part 2, I thought that it was a split personality. That Lily was. I
did think that. I thought Lily might have been her personality.
Because when the mom would say, "Some girls are sweet and some are bitter. Which one are you?" And it was kind of like, well, today I'm bitter, I'm Lily, and sometimes I'm sweet, I'm Beth.
Yeah.
And then, like, when she gets drunk, when she's older, Lily is who comes out when she kills these people. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't know she's doing it.
Right. Yeah, I kind of had that idea.
I was proved wrong.
Oh, no, it's good.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that's not where she went with that.
I know.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
They explain away the ghost. Like, sometimes I want it to be a ghost.
I always want it to be a ghost.
Yeah.
They're making it a ghost.
The ghost away.
Yeah. I hate it's like makes me so mad when they explain it away and like
right, yes.
Logic.
Riley Sager.
Not a word, but you know what I mean.
I'm still bitter about that.
Yeah. Stop explaining away the ghost.
Yeah, it just kills all the fun.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it is something I appreciate about this author is that in all of her books, she does have a ghost story aspect, and she doesn't like shy away from it or try to explain it away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe I kind of thought that too, at one point.
Mm.
Oh, interesting. Like that she like inhabited her body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or no, like that they were sisters, but she killed Beth and then she pretended to be Beth. Like she just took over Beth's life. At least that's what I assumed.
Gotcha. I was thinking of like when Lily was a
ghost. We're still thinking that paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Something other than mental illness, what Elizabeth said.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's so annoying though. Like when everything just gets chalked up to the female main protagonist of having a mental illness. Like, yes, representation in books is so important, but that doesn't need to be the answer for everything. A woman can just be mad or, you know, whatever without having a mental illness. You know what I mean?
And I feel like it's representation when it's in something like The Maid, where you're seeing neurodiverse characters painted in a positive light. But when it's just like, oh, and then like she's crazy, it's just like we don't need more stories out there about women just being crazy. It's
like the woman in Cabin 10, she was not believed because she took depression medicine and she didn't always remember to take them. Like, that's so frustrating. That
that is frustrating.
That's a whole nother rant
pedestal. I could name so many books, but I don't that do that, but I don't want to give spoilers. But yeah, I hate that. It's like
definitely.
So I was waiting for the shoe to drop for there to be some bigger connection between Shay and Beth. Like, why did she pick Shay specifically, other than the fact that she had the balls to ask her? Do you think that's really all that there was?
I think it was because Shay was the victim of that abduction. I still don't really know why Beth
maybe Ransom knew
cared about that.
Yeah. I guess Ransom told Beth and since she had wrote about it and they lived in the same town previously, she was probably already on Beth's radar.
Yeah. And she was ready to tell her story because she was going to die anyway. So I think it might have just been an opportune, you know, like, hey, you want my story? I'm ready to tell. It's right place, right time.
Yeah.
Good timing.
Since there was no other connection found in the book. I wouldn't have been surprised if we had seen something, but we didn't get that. So I guess it's just right place, right time.
There was a connection, but with the detective.
Well, Blackworth.
The detective was.
Right? So the detective who was
there was
because he cared about Beth and he cared about Shay.
So. But did Beth know that? Did Beth know that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that she knew that he worked the case because it being so small, like the chances were, you know, he was there. But I don't know if she knew how important Girl A was to Black.
Yeah. Is that a saying, Girl A? Because isn't there another book called Girl A? Is that like
you know? I thought that today when I was looking at my bookshelf and I saw the title Girl A, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I never heard that until then.
Oh, okay. Did you read? Either of you read that book?
I haven't read it yet.
And anyone at home read it? I don't know.
I did read it. It's kind of like a Jane Doe thing. It's just what they call them when they don't want their name to be.
Or like, you know how when like the CDC is investigating a flu outbreak or a disease outbreak, and there's the very first victim, it's, you know, that type of thing. Where it all stems from.
Because that's
like when like when a victim isn't dead. Right. And they just want to identify them.
In Girl A, she was the one to get help for her family. She was the one who kind of escaped her. That's not a spoiler. That's the whole book. But so she's called Girl A because she was the one who started the case and got her, you know.
And of course, sexual assault victims are
right.
Oh, that's always.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Okay.
Anonymous.
Oh, that makes sense.
So. Oh, okay.
Oh, Girl Anonymous. Girl A. Who knows? Okay. Well, we kind of just talked about that. Why do you think Beth and Detective Black believe Shay is the only one who can solve this case? Do you think there were similarities between Beth and Shay that influenced them? What are your thoughts on the parallels between Beth and Shay?
Well, I think that because they're both kind of stuck in there because of what had happened in the past. Like Shay didn't like to leave her condo because of, she didn't want to get in a car. And Beth was also like, she couldn't leave. And so I think that had that similarity to them.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, and Black could have solved it, but Beth didn't want him to because she was afraid that Lily would kill him. And she loved him.
Right.
In her own way.
In her own way, yes.
I'm trying to think of what else they have in common other than that. I don't know, both like pretty strong-willed women. I don't know if it's like a similarity, but I felt like Shay's relationship with Beth made her kind of like reflect and question her own life and her choices and her marriage and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Childhood
and
trauma.
Beth did help her see what she was capable of, and whenever people were like, "Oh, aren't you scared?" She said she's going to sue you. She did all that just to help Shay, because no publicity is bad publicity, and getting her name out there, people were flocking to her page. Oh, that's true. They do both blame themselves for the other victims.
Yeah. They have that in
right.
Good point, Amy. We just talked about that one. Okay. Do you think that Beth is a murderer? What is influencing your opinion?
Yes, because she killed Lily.
But do you think Beth would ever kill again, though? Like, she's not a killer. She only killed Lily. Yeah.
I think she thought she had no other choice but to kill her.
Like, I don't see Beth going out and shooting people in the face now. Right. It was very vigilante. And honestly, it was kind of almost self-defense, if you want to, because Lily probably would have killed Beth eventually. Yeah. I wouldn't label her a murderer. She killed once in a time that she had to.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I guess like technically she is, because she killed somebody.
Right.
Also, I just realized that like I was thinking about a detail when I was like Shay's marriage. I was just realizing that I confused two books that I read pretty soon. Ignore that comment. You're all like, what is she talking about?
No, Shay had just gone through a divorce.
Yeah.
She had, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I know, but I was thinking of something from a different book.
Shay had just gone through a divorce, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were good.
All right.
Yeah, I felt sorry for Lily at the beginning, but that quickly went away, because I was like, this is crazy.
She did have it tough.
Yeah. How bad do you think the police messed up that they did not make a connection that Marianne, was it Marianne or Marina, whatever her name was, the mother, had another daughter? Because her name was on the birth certificate. I mean, it's not like it was a secret. I mean, I guess it was a secret, but
the only thing I could think of is that, so I've been watching a lot of these like true crime shows on Netflix. I don't know if anyone else is like addicted to those, but like The Night Stalker, and like now I'm watching one called Worst Roommate Ever. It's so good. And it's like, it wasn't that long ago, but just like, I mean, we're talking about like in the 80s, like record keeping was so much worse than it is now, that like there's one example of a woman who got married 5 different times and changed her name. And that alone made it like impossible for police to figure out who they were dealing with before it was like already too late.
Right. Well, yeah, because nowadays you can just type in a name in a computer and it pops up. all these documents. But back then, they didn't have that. So
yeah. So like now, like our databases, I guess, are so much more comprehensive and connected. But
yeah,
I mean, this was, what year are we talking that Lily and
it's
Beth
in the
were kids?
50s.
So
Lily was born in the 50s. But, at the same time, though, up until Beth had given the papers to Ransom, or Julian had the birth certificate in his papers. How come that was not ever searched?
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
So, somewhere someone dropped the ball on that. But they might not have came to the same conclusion that because there was a witness putting Beth, there was never a witness of Lily, like ever.
Right.
There is a book that I have not read yet, but I want to say it takes place Mandy makes a very good point. And I believe it was a book of the month about how there was a case that happened somewhere in like the 70s-ish time frame, and it kind of changed how the FBI and police procedure and how they handled homicides. What is the name? Something Flowers, maybe? Does anybody know what I'm talking
Killers
about?
of the Flower Moon?
Yeah.
I have not read that one. But
I think I'm trying to remember if it's...
Isn't that the one about like the cults?
No, that's the one about what they did to the people on the Indian reservations. Killer of the Flower Moon.
Oh, why did I think it was about like the Manson murders?
That's Emma. Klein is... I think the name of that book is just My Girls, or I don't know. There's so many books.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a great question, Alicia. She asks, do you think if Lily had a normal childhood, it would have been different, or was she just a psychopath?
It's hard to know.
Well,
if you watch true crime, sometimes they've had a bad childhood, and sometimes they've had a very normal childhood.
I know. It's like that whole nurture versus nature debate.
Right.
So,
but though, but Beth's childhood was not normal. So, I mean, even if they had kept Lily, it still wasn't going to be a normal childhood. They were neglected, left alone to fend for themselves. They had alcoholic mother.
Right.
I mean, maybe she wouldn't have drank as much if she hadn't had that trauma of having to give up her child. But, you don't know. And, I mean, look at families with perfectly fine children who go on to kill.
Right.
I think there's something in your brain.
Yeah, I think so too. Like a lack of empathy that makes somebody capable of, not just like murder, but even as a child, like Lily was showing really like vindictive and addictive tendencies.
Yeah.
I looked up that book, and it was in the 1920s, not 70s. And it was Killers of the Flower Moon, and it was about an Indian nation in Oklahoma, and it was kind of like the birth of the FBI. So I was totally wrong. Totally wrong. But.
If Lily's father was the reason. Right, because Lily had a different father than that. Mm-hmm. Yes, neglect is also abuse.
Yes.
Right, yeah. Of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Telling my kid he's an asshole can be abuse too. I mean, I don't have to hit somebody to...
Right, and there's so many different forms.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Beth, even though her family had a lot of money, she still didn't grow up in she didn't have a happy, great childhood.
No.
It's a good question, though.
I lost my questions.
Oh, I have them too. Hold on, let me pull them up.
Okay, think about the ghosts in the novel. What do you think motivates them to stay around? Do you think they are or were evil?
Sorry, I sneezed in that question. What was it?
Think about the ghosts in the novel. What do you think motivates them to stay around? Do you think they are or were evil?
So let's go through the ghosts. So it's Lily, And we also talked about that the mother is still there.
Yeah, I don't think Julian was a ghost. I think she sometimes just visualizes his body.
Yes, I agree. Like, I think I kind of interpreted that as like the ghosts kind of playing a trick on, like creating a hallucination to scare them.
Yeah.
Or to scare Beth. Yeah.
And Lily wanted that house, so she's sticking around because it's her house.
Right. And Lily was definitely the evil.
Yes.
I think the others were just stuck.
And maybe exactly. Like the mother is stuck to Lily now because she didn't treat her how she should have in her physical life.
Yeah. I agree. I think that Lily was evil and the mom was just like sad and like a lost soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone had mentioned the rape and that maybe like Lily got some of his DNA for being a bad person. But back to that though, do you think that the mother had a hard time forming a bond to Lily because of what she went through to make her?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to be close to a baby if that baby spawned from trauma.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she definitely had like guilt for giving her up, and then when she came to visit that one time, she had bruises and stuff. That put her into a depressive spin. So she cared, but I think I don't know if there could be if she was just bond to her.
It's just a really bad situation all around because had Lily been with them, would the mother have been like resentful of her that she has to see this face every day that
that would be so hard.
harmed her? So she might have treated Lily poorly also, but then her being in foster homes and not being there to protect her child.
Yeah.
It's just one of those sad situations.
I think she was like set up in so many different ways to have a bad relationship with Lily that like caused more trauma. Like, so groomed into having this relationship with an older man, then put in that hospital, right? Like, I mean, at a time when it was not acceptable for a woman to have a child out of wedlock.
Right.
Like that was not okay, right? So like being shamed and humiliated for that and basically being locked away and then having to give the baby up. And then, I mean, Julian was so horrible about, she must have felt so much guilt. And I mean, she was also an alcoholic. I mean, it just seems like compounding issues.
Yeah.
Right. There was a lot going on.
Relationship. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So we've touched on this already, but thinking of your answer about the ghost, what is your interpretation of the ending? So I've already said my interpretation is that with the two lights in the window is the mother and Lily still living in that house, and Beth has been able to go on because she gave out her secrets. What do you all think?
Interesting. Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So at the end,
when I read it, I
the
thought it was Beth and Lily.
You thought it was Beth and Lily?
Because Lily was always like, you'll never get away from me. And so I think maybe they're just bonded. So that's how I took it.
Ooh. Oh, and Amy thinks all three of them are stuck in the house. Gosh, I don't know.
I just really want to believe that Beth was able to get some peace in the afterlife with going through what she went through. And having to live for 40 years with these ghosts and these secrets. Yeah. The mom, I definitely think, is still stuck in that hallway.
I'm just rereading the last page.
Wouldn't it be nice if we had the author with us to...
I know, like, what?
Tell us the answer.
She's one of those that probably would never respond to my email. She's so popular. Like, I love Kristen Hanna, but I sent her an email like a year ago and she's never responded to it.
No, same.
Yeah.
Well, let me think about this. So what would have caused... So we know the mom and Lily were there originally, right? It didn't really seem like there was anything there like nothing happened to them that would have released them, right?
Right, like I said, the only thing new was that Beth was now dead.
But you know what is wild, though, is that the mom and Lily both were killed. Never mind. Lily died in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say they were both outside of the house, and Julian was the only one killed in the house, but they moved Lily's body. She was actually killed in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So it was only the mother who wasn't killed in the home.
Right. No. But was there anything that would have, if there was only two, and it was Beth and Lily, like what would have caused the mom to no longer be stuck in the house?
I can't think of anything.
So then I think it's still the mom and Lily, and that Beth is free. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I don't know. I feel like so sad that the mom is still stuck. I don't know. I just felt really like sorry for that character.
Oh, so we do know for sure that it was the mother. On page 36 in the Book of the Month edition, she closed her eyes and waited for sleep as outside in the hall, her mother wept and wept.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So the mother was for sure one of the ghosts, and Lily was the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So,
right.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything that happened that the mother could have been released from her. I picture Casper when I think about ghosts, like my unfinished business.
Yeah.
And then Kerrigan, when she realizes she has solved her unfinished business, and she starts, and then she goes on to the afterlife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so Beth finished her business. So
right, Beth did that. So that's why I don't think Beth would be stuck in the house. I think it was like her way of kind of like winning, like beating Lily is being free.
Because if she would have died from that aneurysm without having given her truth, she probably would have become that third ghost. And all three of these women lived miserably in this house like they lived miserably before.
Oh, the mom can't get in the rooms? I don't know.
Yeah. Because the mom wasn't, that's why I thought it was.
Well, she had the door locked.
The mom wasn't active, she didn't cause anything. So I think the two lights moving, I think it's Beth. Because the mom she just stayed in and cried. She didn't do anything else. So that's why I thought that.
It's one of those open for interpretation.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel bad for those kids. Like, oh my gosh.
What was
I wonder if Lily is going to hurt anybody. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point, too.
Oh, gosh.
Beth is in the house making sure Lily doesn't kill those kids.
Maybe that's why she's following them.
Maybe.
That's why they're together. Like I said, that was my impression that it was Beth, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. What was everybody's favorite scene? Is there a scene that stands out to you?
All I think about is when the ghost tried to kill Shay. Like, okay.
At the cliff?
When she pushed her off the cliff and stuff.
Yes.
That's the scene that pops into my head. And then the end with the kids getting messed with the ghosts. Yeah. Those are the two that stick out to me.
I keep thinking about that time that it was like the kid was playing outside and like then he sees and the mom is like, come inside, and he like sees like the blonde lady out there. I love that scene.
And they're both like, are you real? Are you real? Like, maybe both dead.
That's funny.
Did she die? Yeah.
So
that was a good one too.
Michael, Jessica said when she finally met that guy in person, and I really liked that part a lot too. But I remember I texted Susie and I was like, I have a really hard time trusting Michael ever since I read this other book where it was kind of like her confidant, police officer type protector, which is kind of like what Michael was, and he ended up being the killer.
Yeah.
I won't give the name of the book for spoiler purposes, but I was like, there's something about this guy. I feel like maybe he has something to do with it.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad he ended up being great.
Yeah, me too, because I was like, please.
She deserved that.
killer
Yeah,
in
I
real
like
life.
Yeah, the first ghost scene, Mandy, was good too. I was like, ooh, it's getting a little creepy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I
There
just
was definitely some
really
good ones in this
loved
one.
that they didn't explain away the ghosts, that it
Yes.
was legitimately a ghost story. I didn't feel duped.
Right.
I just really thought it was very well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I am also suspicious of all characters when these mystery books. I'm like, he's
Yeah.
right. I'm like,
That's
okay,
how I know
it's
it's
too good to
good.
be true. He's
Yeah.
probably the killer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The cat, I love the cat, Winston
Yeah.
Churchill. And my son Riley
Yeah.
is obsessed with World War II things. And I told him about the cat's name and he thought that was the best.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, I know like a mystery is good when I'm like nervous and suspicious of
Right.
everybody, that I'm like, okay, you're doing something right. Like
Yes.
it's like if you feel too safe while you're reading it, then it's like not a thriller to me.
Yeah. Beth is
When
right.
you go in a horror version.
Because she kind of reminded you of Evelyn.
That's hilarious. Yes, I totally get that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's super funny.
Speaking of Evelyn, I saw where I mean, I know the rights were purchased years ago, but finally Netflix is doing something with it.
Yeah, I
It'll be
know.
interesting to see how they
Yeah, I wonder
translate
who they're
it.
gonna cast.
Listen, I legitimately unfollowed somebody on TikTok today because they were talking crap about the Seven Husbands, and I don't normally do that. Like, I'm a very you know, everybody gets their own opinion. That's wonderful. You know, if everybody liked the same books, that'd be boring. But to talk such trash about
Yeah.
one of my favorites, I just don't need to hear your opinions because clearly ours don't align.
Yeah.
Right. And
I
I
get
hate
it.
when they do that, when they call a book trash, you know, like.
Exactly. Like, I would never
It wasn't
unfollow
for
any
you.
of you all in our viewers in the club. But you're not trying to be book influencers and giving me recommendations. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't need to hear her recommendations because if she doesn't like my favorite book, then
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
you're on the
Yeah.
same page. Yeah. Yeah, I think Beth was like Evelyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Glamorous.
a woman telling her story.
And not the typical mold of what you think a woman should be.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Wait, are they turning it into a TV
Oh,
show?
yeah.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if it's a series or if it's a movie. I'm going to.
Remember.
I don't know. Either way, I think would be great.
Yeah.
I kind of hope it's a TV show because I feel like
they could get more.
Yeah.
Because it'd be
A
hard
lot
to crank
more bang for their
seven
buck.
husbands in one movie.
Well, also, I feel like even though, I don't know, like books and movies, I feel like are usually compared more often as like being, you know, similar types of media. Like the way that TV has been going, I feel like you can get so much deeper now than you could with just a
Right.
movie. Like an hour and a half is so short. You can do
Yeah,
so
we could
much.
get 100 hours
Yeah.
from a TV show. I mean,
Yeah.
how many? I mean, Grey's Anatomy is like almost on its 20th season, and there's like 20 episodes, and they're almost an hour long. They're 45 minutes. I mean, that's a lot of material you would never be able to put into one movie.
Right.
No.
Well, I think like just the character development, like I think when we see these like our favorite books turned into movies and we're like, man, this sucks. Like,
right.
Because it just feels like a drive-by version of it.
Right.
It's like, with the TV show, you can really get like
you can get more out of it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am not a movie fan. I don't watch a lot of movies. I've probably only watched like 10 movies in the past 5 years. I'm just not a big movie, but I love TV shows. I'm obsessed with TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love TV shows too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like a limited series I think would be perfect for Evelyn.
Yeah, there's so many books now being made into
God.
Almost everything.
Oh yeah.
It's immediately it's being adapted.
That's gonna be a movie.
Yeah, I know. Dial A for Aunties is becoming a Netflix.
I missed that. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if it's becoming a movie. I'm assuming it's a movie, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
they
that's
could do a pretty good job for a movie for that book.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a whole lot of character. It was just kind of a fun and mystery, funny. I think they could do a movie on that one.
I think it'll be really good. I think that book was like made for this, like made for film. It's going to be super funny.
Yeah.
And the sequel comes out tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, tomorrow is a huge pub date. I have 17 books on my pub date.
Nice.
Post.
Some good ones coming out soon.
Stupid cough.
It's exciting. Yeah, I don't know. I follow the author on Instagram and she posted something about it.
Yep. I'm the same way.
Yeah, same.
Let me pull it up real quick.
Oh, you ordered this.
We also were talking about earlier about our most anticipated April book.
Yes. I'm trying to think of what's coming out next month.
I don't have any that I'm like super, super excited about. We've already heard that Memphis and maybe Insomnia are going to be picks.
I need to look up what this book Memphis is about because I keep hearing about it.
Sarah Landis just raved about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few good ones coming out.
Oh yeah.
Taryn Fisher has a new book coming out, which I know most people in our group are going to pass on that.
We are not Taryn Fisher fans in this group.
The Younger Wife, which Sarah, you just finished it, right?
Yes.
Oh, I just finished it too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. It was.
Any reviews?
I did not care for it.
So I think like it's not a thriller, so don't.
Right. Yes.
It's more along the lines of like an Ellen Hildebrand style family drama. I think Ellen does it a lot better. Like Ellen's are more fun. This was more serious, but it's that type of family drama where it's like a dysfunctional family and the dynamics and marriage and what's going to happen, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of boring and a little anticlimactic, but it was a fast read.
Yeah. I didn't like the ending. And then I also, when we were talking about how women were crazy or,
yeah,
there was something in the end where I'm like, I think she should have owned up to if they were. I can't even say without spoilers, but I had a problem with the ending.
Yes, I know what you're saying, and I agree with you.
Yeah, like I said, I can't say it because I don't want to spoil the book for anybody, but it was what we were talking about, how they white these women as crazy, and then it's like, were they, or was it really? And you didn't really get a clear. Yeah. And so I hated that.
Yeah.
So the Emily Henry book comes out in May, and so that would really be nice if that was an early release for April. They love her.
That'd be great.
Every book she's written has been a book of the month. Her young adult book was a book of the month, and then both of her adult books have. So I mean, we'll see. But tomorrow, I'm super excited about. Christy Woodson Harvey has a new book coming out called The Wedding Veil. Jilly Macmillan has The Long Weekend. Kate Quinn, who's huge, has The Diamond Eye coming out. Lisa Scottoline has a new book, What Happened to the Bennetts. And then Four Aunties and a Wedding. So, and those are just a couple. Nice. So there's some really good ones tomorrow. But then April's just kind of, it's okay.
Did anyone read Booth? Amy was asking about that.
I got it. My audiobook hold should be in any day. I thought it sounded pretty dry, but a very interesting topic. But I think that I wanted to do the audio. So
Amy, I really liked Flicker in the Dark, if you're thinking about getting that one. Because she's saying she's going to grab some that she missed out on.
Oh, yeah.
The Women They Could Not Silence.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pick that one out.
I'll have to look that one up.
Or are you talking about us?
I think I'm going to add on, what was the one? It has the gold flower on it.
The Golden Couple?
Yeah, The Golden Couple. I think
That
I'm going
was
to add that on.
I just finished that one. That one was good. I like that one.
It was fun? Okay.
Yeah. It's not the kind of therapist you would ever want to go see, but it was
Kate
entertaining.
Moore. Is she the one that did?
Yeah, I don't know. I need to see what
the
all the
Radium
options
Girls.
are.
I haven't really been paying attention.
So I just always get new ones because I've read a lot of them.
Yeah.
I've just been in a big thriller kick, so I don't know what I will get to in April. But
yeah, like I said,
I feel like it's going to be another month full of thrillers.
Mm-hmm.
Or my mystery, they're not really so much thrillers, but that word just gets slapped on everything.
Yeah.
It really does. And then I'm disappointed because I want to be thrilled and I'm not.
Right. And
yeah, no more mystery.
Yeah.
Like suspense and thriller needs to be like the same, and then a mystery is something different.
Yeah. Well, Amy, she's a bad therapist, but she'll tell you she's a bad therapist. Like she lost her license. Like it wasn't somebody who is pretending to be
she knows she's
a character. Like she's pretending to be ethical when really she's doing all these bad things. Like she straight up lost her license, and she'll tell you that I'm not your typical therapist, and I'm that's not my method. Yeah, it was really
celebrated as a good therapist.
Very clever. It was very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get it because I haven't liked 2 of the other books I've read by them, but I keep seeing good reviews. So
I'm seeing a lot of reviews where people are saying, I didn't care for these other books, but I really liked this one. Now, I'm somebody who also really liked You Are Not Alone. So take my review with a grain of salt, but
I didn't hate that one. I just didn't love it. And I really didn't like The Wife Between Us. I was kind of like rolling my eyes at that one. So I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Amy, the Kiss Quotient is so amazing. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That is a very good book. Yeah, good book. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are about to come up on an hour. So any last thoughts before we sign off tonight?
I'm excited to see what we get for April.
I know.
Yeah,
we have no idea.
And we had talked about we are not always going to pick a book of the month book for book club. It's really easy when we can, and now with them having 7 plus
we can probably find one.
We probably will stick within that, but just be aware that we are not strictly just a book of the month fan page anymore. We might, there might be something that I'm super pumped about coming out, or Susie's, whatever. Sarah really wants us to talk about this book, and we might pick that over the other ones, but just, just be aware. So if we come out in April and the books are not what March was, we might be picking something else.
Yeah. We're not going to settle and just buy a book we don't care about.
Right. We want to be really excited. Like this book here gave us more excitement than the past 6 or 7 books we've talked about. We actually had content to talk about tonight because we were excited about the book. So we're not just going to pick one for the sake of picking it.
No, this definitely isn't the first time, Amy, but it has been a while. It has been a while because,
usually 2 out of 3 of us agree.
Yeah.
I mean, we've just had some bad picks, right?
I'd
say the
last character driven, which really isn't our cup of tea type. Not a lot of content to talk about in a book club type situation. It's
there has to be some
what did you interpret of this spooky house or this ghost? oh, there was an artwork and it was a mystery, and oh, they sold it, and here we are. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
well, we all liked the love hypothesis. Megan didn't love it, but
I did not hate
it.
it. Yeah.
Positively.
Yeah. I think if I would have read it before everybody talked about how it was the best romance book of the past however many years, I probably would have liked it a lot more. I just got a bias in my head. That's all that was.
I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
We typically, the three of us really agree most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah. I would say it's so rare that like one of you guys gives a book 5 stars and I give it like 1 or 2. I think that's I can name like maybe 1 or 2 books that's happened with.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if I give something 3, you all are like at a 4. Or, you know, we're kind of like right around.
Yeah, we're usually only 1 star. Every once in a while, there's a good gap. But
yeah. It's usually just the difference between like and love.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Yep. So, all right. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful night. And your Monday, I am going to go watch some more Bridgerton. I'm on the 4th episode. So I'm really trying to go slow because I didn't want to do it all in one day. Because then it would be over.
I'm going to watch American Idol. I'm trying to find a time to watch Bridgerton, but my husband is not interested. So it's like, it's hard to find time.
Make him go play a video game and you watch
go
Bridgerton.
do something else.
Like, go away.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful night, and we will. So be on the lookout for April Challenge, April Book Club. We have an author event in April, so we've got a full month coming. Yep. So thanks for being here, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, that would be great. Give this video a like. That would also be very helpful. All right. Thank you.
All right,
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.